Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Stephanie Jimenez from the Roto Beast team, and I'm here to present you our NBA picks for Friday, October 27th. As always, if you want to watch our full video, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel at Roto Beast. And if you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing, please visit our website at www.rotobeast.net. So, before we jump into it, I'm going to summarize my night tonight. Just like I told you guys last night, I didn't like the slate, and I thought it was very ugly. I told, all my members, bet light. I bet light. Unfortunately, we had the monsters tonight. I made some money. Even though I bet light, I still made a quick 600. I can't complain about that. Go buy some lunch tomorrow. Got some extra money in my pocket, and we'll put 400 of that back in tomorrow. So, let's jump into this slate. There's a lot of juicy spots that I really like on this slate. And my list of, my player pool is going to be a little bit bigger today than usual just because there's so many juicy spots that I really like on this slate. Compared to yesterday where I hated this slate, I absolutely love it. So, let's just jump into the slate. It's 7 games. Out of those 7 games, there's 4 games that I'm really going to be targeting. It's going to be the Washington Wizards at the Warriors. This has the highest implied total on the slate of 231 points projected to be scored, with Golden State favored by a -10. So, this game's going to be fast-paced, back and forth. I really like it. The next game we'll talk about is the Raptors at the Lakers. This has a second highest implied total at 225. The Raptors are favored by 6. This is going to be another fast-paced game. Lakers, people say we're not good. I'm a Lakers fan, but hey, we beat the Wizards. We have a good young core to compete with anybody. It's just if we could close the game or not. But I do like the Raptors tomorrow. It's the second highest implied total. They are favored, like I was telling you. So they do look very promising. Next, we'll talk about this game. This game, you're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about this game for? But you know what? Both of these teams are garbage. But since they're both garbage, they're going to probably score a lot of points on each other. So we'll talk about the Nets at the Knicks. This has the third highest implied total by a long shot. With 220 points implied to be scored. The Knicks, probably for the first time this whole season, are actually favored to win. They're favored to win by 2.5 points. I thought they would show the Nets a little bit more love since they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers the other day. But no, the Knicks are favored again. I really like this game. Both teams are garbage. They don't really play too much defense. It's going to be a high-scoring game, back and forth. Just like I said the other day, though, about the Nets, they don't play really anybody over 28 to 30 minutes, so it's kind of tough to get people off that team. But Dinwiddie, that's a guy that's really standing out immediately to me if D'Angelo Russell's out. The final game that I really like that I'm going to be targeting a lot is going to be the Rockets at Charlotte. This has the fourth highest implied total, which is 212. Houston's favored by 2.5. Houston, they've been struggling a little bit since Chris Paul's been down. James Harden's been struggling himself, and I think him and Kemba Walker are going to go back and forth. Kemba Walker, he plays very good at home. I really like this game. I think it's going to be a close game, and I do like both sides of this game. So that's kind of like the couple of games I'm going to be targeting. Let me try to just move on to the individual teams that I'm going to be targeting. First and foremost, it's obvious. You want to get Warriors in your lineup, pretty much as many as you can fit in with quality players around them. Going against the Wizards, this game is going to be fast-paced, so fast-paced, up and down, up and down. The Warriors already play at a fast pace as it is, and then they get a 2.2 pace bump going against the Wizards. They have the highest implied total on the slate at 120. I love the Warriors today. It's just a matter of how many can I fit in my lineup. Next, we'll talk about the Raptors. Going against the Lakers. My Lakers, we don't play too much defense, in all honesty. They have the second highest implied total on the slate, projected to score 116 points. And they get a 7.9. We'll just round it off to 8. They get an 8% pace bump of what they're used to playing. So that's going to give DeRozan, Lowry, a couple of extra shots, possibly a piece. So I really like the Raptors. I haven't really looked too much into their prices yet, but the other day they were really they're really, really underpriced, and if they are continue to be underpriced tomorrow, I'm gonna definitely have a lot of interest in them. Next, we'll talk about the Knicks. They have the third highest implied total, projected to score 111 points. And they actually get an 8% pace bump going against the Nets as well. So, you really got to look at Porzingis. You got to look at Ramon Sessions for cheap at point guard. I do like a couple of Knicks tomorrow. Tim Hardaway, if the guy's healthy, that's the thing. But he hasn't had a breakout game yet, and it could be coming this game. The next team we'll talk about is the Wizards. They have the fourth highest implied total going against Golden State. They're projected to score 110 points. The Wizards are one of the fastest paced teams in the league, and they actually get a 2.5% pace bump going against the Warriors. So both of these teams on both sides are getting a major pace bump. So I really like this game fantasy-wise. I really, really like this game. I like the Wizards a lot as well. I think they could keep it close against the Warriors. I mean, not... it's going to be a 2-point game, but I think that they keep it close so it's not going to be a blowout going into the fourth quarter. Next, we'll talk about the Lakers. They have the fifth highest implied total, projected to score 110 points. They get a 2% pace bump going against the Raptors. The Raptors, they've been playing a little bit faster this year. I really like the Lakers. And then the last team I'm going to really talk about is going to be the Houston Rockets. I mean, they have 107 implied total, which is sixth most on the slate. They're a pretty fast-paced team as it is, and then you got Charlotte, pretty much equally as fast. So this is going to be an up-and-down game. So I like, the Houston Rockets a lot. And then there's one more game I'm just going to kind of talk about a little bit, but there's no Vegas line on it. There's no over and under, so I don't have too much information to give you guys. I do this at night to kind of get you prepared for tomorrow early. But I like OKC going against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, they got Teague now. They have Butler to go with Wiggins and Towns. So they have a good core, and I think they can keep this game close against OKC. Obviously, on the OKC side, you got to look at Russell Westbrook. I mean, the guy's one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. So I like both sides, the OKC and the Timberwolves side. So those are the teams I'm going to be targeting, okay? So now we're going to finish it off. We're going to round it off with our top plays at each position. Make sure you have a pen and paper to write this down. And like I was telling you, my player pool is a little bit bigger than usual. Usually I try to stick with my 5 favorite guys at each position, but there's a lot of spots that I really, really like today. And so I want to make sure and just kind of let you know all the guys that I'm going to be looking at, because there's a bunch of them. And, in tournaments, we like to mix them up and mix and match and try to get different lines. And then, cash game-wise, we got to kind of just fit what we can together and just try to make our optimal lineup. So hopefully you got your pen and paper now. So we'll start at point guard. Obviously, I really like Steph Curry going against the Wizards. Kyle Lowry going against the Lakers. Both of these guys are getting massive pace bumps. Ramon Sessions for the cheap. The guy's been good. I mean, he's nothing spectacular, but he's going to do his job, and he's going to get you them fantasy points. On the lower end of the spectrum. And going against Brooklyn, he gets a pace bump, and Brooklyn isn't very good, so he can have a very good game. And then we'll talk about John Wall going against the Warriors in the fast-paced game. Lonzo Ball going against the Raptors. Spencer Dinwiddie. If D'Angelo Russell's out again, the guy looked great going against the Cavaliers. I didn't get to see his price, but if his price is anything close to what he did the other day, I think he was like 4.5K or something. If it's anywhere near that, especially on Fanduel, just lock him in on your cash games. Plain and simple. And then last but not least, okay, I just kind of named them. I didn't put them in order, but you got your boy James Harden, going against Charlotte. Him and Kemba Walker are going to go back and forth. I really like James Harden. And then you got Russell Westbrook. Hey, he's the best point guard. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best. That's it. Plain and simple. I'm going against the Timberwolves. I think it's going to be a close game, so I really like Russell Westbrook. So now we'll move on to shooting guard. I'm going to start off with Klay Thompson. Top 3 shooting guard in the league. I really like him. DeMar DeRozan looks very good against the Lakers. Courtney Lee for the Knicks. I mean, the guy's cheap, and going against Brooklyn, I like anybody going against Brooklyn. So I think he could be a cheap option. You can kind of sneak in there. We got Bradley Beal in the up-tempo pace game against the Warriors. Um, Contavious Caldwell-Pope for the Lakers. We got Karis LeVert for the Nets. He looks good. Eric Gordon for the Houston Rockets. Jeremy Lamb, he's been playing great for the Charlotte Hornets. And then another guy I'm going to throw in that he's been under the radar, but he's been doing very good, is Gary Harris for the Denver Nuggets at shooting guard. I like him as well. So next, we'll move on to the small forward position. We're going to start off with Kevin Durant going against the Washington Wizards in a fast-paced game. I really like him to get a couple blocks, a couple steals. He's been picking up his defense this season. So Kevin Durant looks good. And we'll talk about Norman Powell going against the Lakers. He's on the cheaper end, and he's not going to do nothing special, but he's going to get you them points. Tim Hardaway for the New York Knicks. The guy, every single game we expect him to, it's going to be his game. This is going to be his game. He's a good player. And he hasn't done it for us, and it's coming. And against the Brooklyn Nets, I think this is one of the best spots and his best opportunities to actually get it going if he is going to get it going. So, I haven't looked at his price. If it's down a little bit, I would definitely consider him. I mean, he looks pretty good. Next, we'll talk about Kelly Oubre for the Wizards. He's been getting a ton of minutes. The only thing that scares me about Kelly Oubre is if he gets in foul trouble, facing Kevin Durant. But, the minute-wise, he's been there. The minutes have been there for him, and I do like him a lot. Brandon Ingram for the Lakers. DeMarre Carroll for the Nets. We got, Luke Malabute for the Houston Rockets. This guy played him the other day. He didn't get me nothing special. He only got me 20 points. But his price was only $3.2K on Fanduel. So, in reality, the way I'm looking at it, you know what I mean? The way I'm looking at it, 3.2K, he got me almost 7%. 7 times my return on investment. And if he's going to continue to be that cheap and get 30-plus minutes like he's been getting, you got to really look at him and consider him. And then Kyle Anderson, he's been playing great for the Spurs. Paul George going against the Timberwolves. He had a dud game the other day going against the Pacers. I thought he was going to go off against his old team, and he had a dud. Usually when superstars have a dud, they usually play good the next game. So I like Paul George tomorrow. And then a guy who's been under the radar, been playing great, is CJ Miles. I played him like 2 times already this season in my cash games, and people are like, why are you playing CJ Miles? And the guy he does work, plain simple. He's a scorer. That's what he does. He's coming off the bench. He's running the second unit, and he's putting up points, plain and simple. And he's going against the Lakers. I know the Lakers are my team, but, hey, we don't play defense, and we let people score a lot of points. So I definitely like C.J. Miles as a sleeper GPP tomorrow. Moving on to power forward, I'm going to start off with the obvious, probably my favorite power forward in the league, Draymond Green. The guy just fills up the stat sheet, plain and simple. Fantasy-wise, that's what we're looking at, is for people who's filling up the stat sheets. So Draymond's going to be my top, power forward on this slate. Then we got the Toronto guy, Pascal Siakam. I'm not sure exactly how to say it, but he's been very good as well. He's getting good minutes right now with Valanciunas out, so keep an eye on if his price is, reasonable. He's definitely in cash game consideration. Next, we'll talk about Kristaps Porzingis for the Knicks. The guy's a beast. He's their shining, bright star in New York. They have nobody else, but they have this guy, and he's clearly their best player, and I really like him tomorrow going against the Nets. Like I said, the Nets are horrible. I think this guy could have a monster game. We'll move on to Otto Porter on the other side going against the Wizards, fast-paced game. And then Larry Nance and Julius Randle, they're pretty much splitting minutes for the Lakers. But both of them are putting up pretty good stat lines nightly. And Randle, it looks like he's starting to get a couple more minutes than he's been playing. But either way, I like both these guys. They're on the lower end of the power forward spectrum. And then Hollis Jefferson, the guy is a defensive player. He gets his steals, gets his blocks. Plus, he's been, scoring a little bit better. for the Nets. Hollis Jefferson is definitely a consideration. And the last power forward I'm going to talk about is Ryan Anderson. He's getting more shots right now. He's getting a lot of shots a game, and we know that he can make threes. And if he's going to make his threes, and I don't know what his price is today, but yesterday it was only 4.2K. And if Ryan Anderson's only 4.2K and he's going to get 30-plus minutes and get 10-plus shots, the guy's almost a must start. I mean, it's plain and simple. I mean, he's a really good player, and I really like Ryan Anderson. Lastly, we'll go with the center position. On the cheap end, GPP play only, Zaza Pachulia. I know it hurts, but he's cheap and he fills up the stat sheet. With the minutes that he gets, he usually produces, and that's what we want in our fantasy players. Next, we'll talk about Serge Ibaka at center going against the Lakers. He's looking pretty good. He's been playing pretty good this season. He knocks down his threes, gets his rebounds, gets his blocks. So he looks good for tomorrow. Enes Kanter for the Knicks. We already know this guy's story. When he gets minutes, he does work. The problem is, I don't understand how coaches don't give him minutes because the guy is good. Hey, if you want to come play power forward for the Lakers, it's all right, Kanter. Come on. Hey, I'll get you in. Don't worry about it. All right. So next we'll talk about Marcin Gortat for the Wizards going against the Warriors in a fast-paced game. I like a lot of people from that game, obviously. Brook Lopez for the Lakers. He's been playing very good. Clint Capella. This dude has just been a monster. Plain and simple, he's been a monster. And, yeah, I really like him. The only thing about him is I don't know how he's going to play against Dwight Howard. It's another big body. The way I see it is one of the two is going to get in foul trouble. I just don't know which one it is. I could kind of see it being Capella because he's the younger player, a little bit less experienced than Dwight Howard. But Dwight Howard gets in foul trouble. So I really like Clint Capella tomorrow. And the last guy I'm going to bring up is the rookie, Jacob Poeltl for the Toronto Raptors. This guy, he's coming off the bench, but he's getting minutes, and he's doing a lot with his minutes. And this guy has been great. I have a bunch of my guys tell me, why haven't we played this guy? And I know, man, I know. I'm looking at the stats, and I know it's there. This guy is good. So, hey, that's kind of where I'm at, all right, for my picks today. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button below, and if there's guys that you like, like I said, I do this at night, so I miss players. If there's somebody that you got questions about that you want my opinion on the player, leave a comment below. And if you haven't, please click, hit the like button for me. And hey, let's get this money tomorrow. I'm feeling good about this slate. And hey, I'm gonna cash out. And I hope that you guys listen to me and we cash out together. All right, have a good one.